May I take you back to the summer of 2009, a year before the opening of our Grand Māori exhibition. In Wellington, New Zealand, I was discussing the exhibition with my friend Lud Beringa, and I was talking with Lud about the fate of an exhibition, and that after a year, the exhibition would close down and there would be nothing permanent. And the idea came up to have something permanent. And the idea came up to have a waka made and be given to the museum to be used in Leiden and in Europe. And the idea was pitched with Toi Māori. And they said, fantastic. And the idea was pitched with Robert Gabel and the Waka Federation, and they said, this is fantastic. And the idea was pitched with the Bankhiro Loterij, and they said, this is fantastic. And then they made it, and it is fantastic.
Taurunga tū, taurunga tapu te Māori tū, te Māori tapu te Māori, te whiwhia te Māori te rawea. Te Māori nō whea, te Māori nō runa, nō rani, nō nuku tū. Tēnei te Māori ka whakapiki, tēnei te Māori ka whakakake. Te Māori o nā hariki, te Māori o nā tipua. Te Māori e rani ka akutara, ki te whai au, ki te amarama. Uhi wera tau mai te Māori haungi e, hui e i taiki e. A tēnā tūturu e rani whakamaua ki a Tīna. Tīna, haungi e, hui e i taiki e.
Trying to convince Māoridom that we have to become part of the world is not difficult. Our ancestors were born part of the world, and all they say to us is that wherever you go, we will be there with you. And so it wasn't hard for us to be able to undertake the project. The difficulty always lay around how well could we impart that belief and value that we've all been grown up in. The approach from Stephen was to acquire a ceremonial canoe, a Waka Taua. That meant we were put in a position to talk about a living waka which had mauri intact. That was quite hard. Had he just asked for a model to be carved, then that would have been easy. We would have handed that over and shook hands and said, have fun.
Have you set your sights on a Waka Taua instead of a Waka Tete?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, that is it. With a Waka Taua, you really have a waka with mana.
All waka's got mana. All waka have mana.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you to see some waka now in Waitangi, and then we'll leave.
Are we going to the Waitangi Waka?
Yeah.
I had a little glance at the Waitangi Waka 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I'd love to see it again. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yes, it was fun.
This is not talking much powder. This is the big waka.
Yeah. This one, Robert, is approximately 35 meters?
Yeah, approximately. And it has...
This one carries nearly 100 people.
Yeah, it can carry 80 paddlers.
$60 men with prayers, they will not be able to lift this waka. You need the help of the water to lift it. Yeah.
I think you might need more than 60.
Yeah.
People have lifted, we have lifted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not for very long though.
You float this waka once a year?
It floated about 2 months ago. Yeah, 6th of February it was on the water.
The waka date. It will always be on the water on the 6th of February.
Not always, no. It was the first time I'd been on in 5 years. The name of this waka is Whakangi. It literally means to float, but it's also an ancestor of both myself and Hector. And he's called the Puhi Kaiariki. And he's our ancestor on there.
Yeah. This is a Waka Taua.
This is a Waka Taua, yeah.
Yeah. What is the main differences then for Waka Tete and the Waka Taua?
There's not a big deal in difference. See, construction. It's what they're intended to be used for. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that part there's a different.
Yeah.
And all waka tete have something similar to that on the front. The traditional waka tete has a tauihu of this nature.
Now,
And it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. It could be a dolphin, or fish.
so it's mainly the way you sort of inaugurate the waka and the meaning that you attach.
That's right.
The meaning
That's
that
right.
you attach.
And who can paddle it? See?
And then who can paddle it? Yeah.
Because Waka Taua, we don't normally have women paddling
Yeah.
a Waka Taua.
Yeah.
Waka Taua's history is actually involved with going to fight battles.
Yeah. And you
carrying
just send the women to fight the battle.
Not normally.
No.
Some
No.
did.
Well,
Yeah. And carrying chiefs to their resting place when they pass away. And also having discussions with chiefs, amongst chiefs. So that was one of the sort of uses of a Waka Taua. It's got separate sort of uses. Now, Waka Tete is actually originally more of a used for fishing, or carrying food, carrying messages from one group of people to another, and that type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a different use, and women and men can operate that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Waka Tete Kura is an interesting concept. If Waka Taua was not appropriate, then the Waka Tete Kura became a real focus for the women to participate in the ceremonial activities of actually paddling and controlling canoes. The restrictions of the Waka Taua is such that they just won't put women onto a Waka Taua. But that's only a matter of time before leadership will say it's just as important to have women on Waka Taua as it is to have men. And that time is not that far away.
Sort of usage I was thinking of was when we have groups of school children who come to the museum and who have a program, an educational program about Māori culture. So they would be told stories, and they would see things. That you would take them on a small tour in the waka. And my understanding has now been from the talks in Wellington that sort of usage is rather not the usage of a Waka Taua. You rather have a Waka Tete.
That's correct.
Yeah,
that is correct. And you'll find that it's not as practical as you think it might be to get one in and out of the water. You're dealing with a 2-ton vehicle here.
It's approximately 2 tons, isn't it?
Well, that's 1 3/4 ton.
Is this made from one kauri?
Yep. Wow. Yeah. The tree for this canoe came from the same place that Hector has in mind for you, and we have another tree which I extracted at the same time as I got this tree, and it's still intact up at Oded as well. So it's just that trees are very, very difficult to acquire.
Yeah.
over here, Stephen, the waka that you saw at Waitangi,
Yeah.
that waka that belongs to my trust, my group, that tree was here.
Yeah.
This is the stump for the tree.
But then our waka is going to be...
And your waka
Yeah.
was made, going to be made, that stump that's up with Hector now,
Yeah.
came from that.
Oh, I
stump
thought
that-
it was the other half to your.
No, he calls them brothers because they're in the same spot together.
So that is their kinship.
Yeah.
They've been standing next to each other
Yeah.
for the last 600 or 700 years or so.
Yeah.
They must have had a little chat with each other.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably thought they're
Yeah.
talking about this. They knew there was a Dutchman coming over from.
Yeah, well,
Holland
they heard the
yeah.
news about Tasman arriving, and they said, oh, geez, only a few hundred more years and the Dutch will come again.
The Dutch will come and,
and ask for us to be brought to their motherland.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're just in time for a
Kia ora, Hector.
This is
Kia ora.
Stephen. This is Hector.
Kia ora, Stephen.
Yeah, Stephen.
Yeah.
Great to be up here.
Well,
Good to see you.
This is my place right here, and the sea's just down there. This is Aotearoa. This is Aotearoa. This is all our ancestors lived from here for years and years and years.
Have you been a waka builder all the time?
No, I was a bridge builder.
A bridge builder?
A lot of these bridges that you come across today, there were some curved bridges there. Do you remember curved?
That is why they always, when they talk about you, it's something about bridging.
Yeah, well,
Bridging.
I was a contractor for 36 years, bridge building, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I built about 200 bridges.
And then how did you get into waka building?
Oh, well, that
Was that always
was something
your
that
hobby?
that was in me all the time, I know, because, yeah, and when we launched the big waka, you see the big one at Waitangi there?
Yeah, but do you mean the Baitang, the very big waka? The
Yeah,
biggest one?
I've been the caretaker of that waka now for over 35 years.
Hector, I think actually that we are now considering to have two waka.
Yeah, well, you know, I asked a question, you see. I asked a question to Garry, and because I didn't know what was going on, I asked a question. Now, tell me this. Do you want a Waka Taua or a Waka Tete, you see? But at the same time, I thought to myself, well, I don't think it's right to build a Waka Tete and take a Waka Tete over there. And then next thing he said, oh, we're going to build a Waka Tete too out of fiberglass or something, you know?
Yeah.
And so now that I've only known that for a few days. Yeah.
So have I. When I now came to New Zealand, it was only through the conversations that I had with Garry and Tamahou that it became clear to me that there was this difference between a tower and a tete. And through those conversations, for me it became obvious that I am extremely grateful that you were willing to make a Waka Taua for the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And that brings with it a long-term partnership between our institution and the people in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So have you decided that you were going to use that model?
Well, I got no other option now. It's time's too close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time's too close, yeah.
And you need wood that is a little bit seasoned, is it?
Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hector, how old is a kauri tree like that? How?
That kauri tree would be about at least 600 years old. Have a look along the log here. It's virtually dead flat, all the way from this side to the other side. But what we have to do is to actually put a dish in it. So a third along the way there, we're going to have to cut it.
Yeah.
And the other third, cut it as well. And then we lift the ends up and rejoin it. So there's a dish like that from the bow here to the stern. Yeah.
Lifting up, Hector, does that mean that you cut it?
Cut it right
and
through.
you make another little cut in a V shape, and you tilt it a little?
It'll be only slight. It'll be only about that much. It's only about half an inch. It's only about that width on top to nothing here. When it touches, this will be up about 6 inches or so. Yeah, and that's what we gotta have.
Yes.
Like on that waka there, if you have a look, it's got a dish in it. So that's what we have to do.
This one can be as elegant as that one. In 3 months' time?
You'll find out.
It's incredible.
You'll find out for yourself.
Oh, that is a trick you have done more often.
I've done it quite a few times.
How do you get it out of the forest?
Well, you know, some of our very, our Maori prayers are strong, you know.
Again. I was teasing Robert. He said, how do you lift this waka? Strong man, and the prayer makes it light. I think it's got to make a big difference. Yeah.
So this is the University Rowing Club that you're going to sort of get students from.
Yeah, and their alumni. So also those who have been rowing in that club in the past.
Are they culturally receptive type students? What sort of are they?
Not all of them. Not all of them. But we'll teach them. We'll teach them. But that I consider the challenge of having the waka there to build up this awareness.
We try not to do anything that desecrates it, because it's still a living thing to us. It's alive. It's not just a tree. It's not just a boat you row. It's a living thing to us.
Yeah.
And that's what we want them to get into them.
Yeah.
That it's a living thing. It's not just a log that Uncle Hector carves. It has a soul and spirit put back into it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's probably where Rob was sort of coming from, you know.
Yeah.
And when we come there, we will teach them that meaning of that.
That aspect of culture and start preparing them mentally that this is what they're, what they're going to be.
It's not the muscle we want.
The understanding that I have with Toi Māori is that the waka will remain legally property of Toi Māori Limited. So it will be your organization that owns it.
Limited.
Yeah.
It will be on.
So on loan forever to our museum. And there is the condition, the first condition is respecting the integrity of the waka. And the only sort of argument that can be used to revoke the loan is that the integrity of the waka has not been respected well enough. Doing it this way, it's going to mean that you and me and our successors in the future, that they will always deal with each other. Have that relationship.
We've got to answer to our grandchildren and great-grandchildren in 50 years' time, and then they'll say to us, "Oh, you gave this waka away," and we see students travelling down the canals throwing flower bombs at it, and that's the sort of thing we don't want to be answerable, or we won't be answerable, we'll probably be gone, but responsible for. Joe and I, we don't want to be responsible for something that, in 50 years' time, those idiots went and decided to do this, because so that's why those sort of conditions were asked for, and we're really grateful that you've accepted them.
Yeah. I find that fully acceptable, but please be considerate. Introduce a system of giving us a yellow card and first before you draw the red card. So don't come and say, now I've seen him smoke near the waka. That is violating the integrity. Come back the waka.
Yeah. Well, they were.
Fantastic.
Within the end of July, there'll be another waka sitting here ready to. We're going to stick it in the water here before it goes.
Yeah.
Are you coming over to wet the deck?
I would love to come back, but.
Yeah, well, that's my aim, to try and get it done by the end of July.
That would be fantastic. I am at a spot now where I had never dreamt of being invited to. This is where the real thing happens, and I have been asking myself, how come that I am the lucky fellow who was invited from the other side of the world to talk with all these people who was granted all their time and their friendship and all the discussion and all the jokes and all the good atmosphere, and was allowed in, and for whom they are actually willing to go to such lengths that they want to make a waka. So elated is a feeling that I really have at the moment.
It's a funny thing, you know, I took to him straight away as soon as I met him, you know, and I knew he had feeling, you know. You could pick those guys, and well, I really got on with them. And I think, you know, these days now you can be here, and then tomorrow night you can be in Holland, and to have a canoe over there available to paddle, I think it's a good idea. I think it's probably the beginning of something bigger. Well, we've got that, and if that's good wood right through there, James?
Yeah, no, it's really.
I was told a few secrets, trade secrets by some of my older kaumātua. You know, they saw how keen I was back in 1974 when we relaunched the big canoe at Waitangi. After 33 years sitting in its shed, you know, in its korowai, we decided to relaunch it, and that was the year the Queen of England was coming over. My uncle, he saw how keen I was, and so did another couple of kaumātua. They got me in a corner one day there at Waitangi and started telling me giving me a few hints about different things, you know, and they actually said to me, if there's any wakas to be built in the north here, you build them. And just like that, you know. But anyhow, that's what's been happening, and this year now is my 28th canoe. 28th canoe, this one, so, but I just love building. I just love playing with wood. The good logs come from the western side of the ridges in the forest up here. The trees, the best trees are from halfway up the ridge. That's exposed to the winter months where they get the wind really blows and the rain and all that. So it makes that side of the tree grow slower than the eastern side. And that's what happens. All those trees you'll find when you knock them over, the heart is not in the middle of the log, it's to one side. And that's the heavy-sided log. And, you know, it's easy enough to prove that, right? Because all you have to do is put it in the water and it'll turn. And the heavy side will naturally go down to the bottom. And that makes the canoe more stable, yeah, because it's the heavy side of the log, yeah. Yeah, so our ancestors actually did a fair bit of working out. I suppose because they live close to nature, you know, those old people. And of course, as far as I'm concerned, waka is number one of our culture. It took 3 years to build that waka. They knocked the trees down in 1937. Mind you, it's a big waka. I know the waka weighs 12 tons because I lifted it with one of my cranes. 3 years is a long time, yeah. I could probably build a waka that size in about, I'll probably be able to do it in 6 months. The carving would be the longest part. A job that used to take us 6 months to do, we can do it in virtually 6 or 7 days. And some of the people that come and watch me working, they see the chainsaws and what have you, and they say, "Oh, you're cheating." And I remind them that in the days of our ancestors, they used the best that they had. And I'm not cheating because I'm using the best that I've got. And it's the end result that counts, yeah. The main thing is to finish up with the same product that our ancestors used to finish up with, and that's, you know, I'm happy with that. Lovely, lovely. That's our shape. Right?
Yep, beauty.
Doesn't look too bad. She looks good. I reckon she'll pass.
When I was about 3 years of age, I used to play with a lot of things with my hands, and my father kept smacking my hands. But my grandfather on my mother's side said you shouldn't do that because he has the signs of a carver. So when I was 11 years of age, my grandmother took me to this guy and told him, you better teach this boy carving because he's going to be a carver. That was it.
I've been working with Hector for about 11 years. Generally, the procedure for the carving is what will happen is that me and Hector will have a discussion. We'll talk about who the canoe's for, what is an appropriate name for the canoe. My perspective of it is that to Hono means the joining or the uniting to become together as one. And I think that reflects itself in the canoe itself. Because it's really a pan-tribal canoe and represents basically the whole of the Aotearoa, really. The meanings of the carvings on the side straights or the rauawas, we used a traditional theme there, which was basically the atua that are located within the realm of Tangaroa or the ocean that guide and steer the canoe on its course. The waka itself, the whole waka, is representative of a person, and so it has its own personality, but that personality is protected by all of the carvings on the canoe, and they all sort of enhance and protect the vessel and its crew.
The cool thing about it, though, is that tree we carved is a 1,000-year-old tree. So the neat thing about stuff like that, you're doing something modern, but it's traditional, and then it's modern again. So we're carving into a tree where our ancestors were here, you know, and they were in that whole environment. They were looking at that tree. So it's very much, for anyone who actually contemplates and looks at things in a deeper way, it's one way of actually knowing who you are.
Hector created the body from a log up north. There was a separate team that had carved the rauawas, and the taurapa and the tauruhu are separate components again. And Hector has managed to pull all those together and join them all up into one canoe, which has a unique personality.
put a muko on it. Yeah. That's the thing there, look. If you want to, you can get that. Yeah, just clamp it on this. Yeah, that's the outside. I'll do my best. The carvings on there are Ngāti Kahu carvings. And being the first waka to leave here and go abroad, nobody from many of the tribe can contradict anything because I'm Ngāti Kahu. The proudest Ngāti Kahu. Yeah, that's enough, I think. Well, we're waiting for they walk down there. What's he there? Half an hour to do. You should just move it a little bit more. I'm going to help you more. Take time, Sam.
Tako ingoa ko Tepene Mamaku, ko mata paura te maunga, ko roto ehu te moana, ko Ngāti Māki no te iwi, ko te arawa te waka. I tua tō tērā, ko ngā ko pūtawa ki te maunga, ko rangitai ki te awa, ko Ngāti awa te iwi, ko mātātua te waka. My job is to train young people, to teach them, to give them the historical significance of waka while Hector does the building. And that's our relationship even today. So I created a haka there in relation to the waka that's going over to Holland, knowing that that waka will never come back. So what I've done, I've created a haka to acknowledge that decision made so that we can release our waka. We can release it into the hands of other people. Today you will see that our young people will breathe their life essence onto their waka. When that waka goes away, it is alive. You're taught to it. You treat it as somebody. You treat it with respect. Yeah, because then it has a total dependency on people to keep it alive, because it's the breath that comes from you to that waka that keeps it going. Once that breath is taken away, the waka will truly die, just like the birds and the trees.
The men do the home.
Hai đây tôi nghĩ tôi mang đây tôi với tôi. Hai.
Yeah, Chappy.
Yeah.
The waka performs extremely well in the water, in the river here at Aotearoa. It's very responsive to the commands of the Kaihau-2, the leader of the waka. It turns extremely well.
Pull it back up a little bit down. Yeah. Just breathe that out on that, Joe. Just hold your step. I want to see how she's laying when she's floating on by herself. She hardly leaked at all with it like that.
I think owing to the the tide and the swell of the river, she went pretty good. She travelled pretty good in the water. The crew was pretty heavy. But I think over time when we start training the crew and getting it balanced, I think the waka will travel really well in the water. She's quite fast in the water. I think we're, all in all, really happy with how it went.
Tomorrow I will be talking to the Toi Māori staff and going through our selection list of paddlers to take over to Holland. We will be bringing over 17 paddlers.
For me, it'll be about training the crew to make sure that we have a balanced crew, a crew that's able to be versatile, also to be able to pick a crew that's from around the country, from different iwi, as best as we can.
I do this for my boys and myself, that I know my little tama and my hori at home. Tama's he's itching right now to get into Waka Taua himself, so I think it's important that we not only share this Waka Taua, all of our waka practices with others, but then also pass it on to our younger generation. I'm trying to role model, be a positive role model for my boys.
Okay, when we move around, all the time, we'll just tuck it up like this, eh? So we move around like that, face like that. Like that, yeah, tuck it up on the shoulder, at this side. Hey? Okay, keep, yeah. No, move out to you, eh? Try and make it quick when we get on there, the water's cold. Hector, Hector. Hey, boys. No. When we're over there, they're going to want uniformity. Everyone needs to be the same, eh? Shirt off, hats off.
The 4 carvers that we're sending over to Leiden, they're over there, and they'll be over there for 4 weeks carving pieces for a waka shelter that'll be eventually built there.
The whare waka itself was, turned out to be a bit of a surprise for everybody, because I don't think they sort of had any sort of perception of what was actually going to come out or anything. My brief was basically just get up there and carve them a canoe shelter. That was it. So I'd have a little think about it, and the story that I came up with, the kōrero, which I felt was appropriate, was the kōrero about Maui fishing up the North Island. And I wanted to get that name, Tika Maui, across as the indigenous name for New Zealand, because that waka shelter is in Holland, and it's more or less just down the road from where Abel Tasman left and came and called our country New Zealand. And we actually went to New Zealand, the place itself, Zealand, and had a look at the windmills and the context of where Abel Tasman left to come and name our country. So I thought it was appropriate for us as Māori to go over there and share our name, Tika Maui, with the Dutch.
Abel Tasman, as we know, was the first European to come to New Zealand, and that's a very important part of history. But we also have a story as well, and what we call New Zealand is the North Island. Anyway, we call it Tika Maui, the fish of Maui. And so we wanted to talk about the story of Maui.
Maui had 4 brothers, and one day they decided to go fishing.
Maui had 4 broers en op een dag besloten ze om te gaan vissen.
Yeah. And Maui wanted to go fishing, and he asked his brothers if he could go, but they said no. He was the youngest brother.
Maui wilde eigenlijk ook mee en hij vroeg aan zijn ouders.
The figures shown here are Feku, and the style of carving is to show big eyebrows, or what we call tifana. And the other characteristic that you'll see in a lot of carving is the out-thrust tongue, or a pukana, because in our stories the earth and the sky were once joined, and they had some children, and their children separated them, and the main child that separated them was, according to some tribes, was Tane, who pushed his father up into the sky. And when he pushed his father up into the sky, he made big eyebrows and a tifana went there. And so that's where that expression comes from.
We'll need to take a crew that'll be able to liaise with other cultures, especially in Holland, and also have some knowledge about the waka, about what the waka is, what it does, where it was built, what it's made out of, size, weight, and understanding each part of the section of the waka, what each kaihui does or paddler does.
We just want to make sure that we have a good, strong program in place. From our end here, we'll have 2 waves of teams leaving Aotearoa. So the first crew will be setting up the ground crew and also training with the Royal Dutch Rowing Club Nord, based in Leiden.
It is the guardian animal of Njord. Is it? Yeah.
Takiri, 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 Haringa wakarono te waka pehia.
The Waka Taua carvings were different from to Hono because all of the carvings for the Waka Taua were actually carved at the same time as the whare waka. The bow piece is made out of oak, which came from France. It's the same wood that was used on the whare waka. The stern piece is actually made out of kauri. The whole of the Waka Taua was constructed of fiberglass.
Round you go, guys. Round you go. Round you go.
Because in that one waka, we have French wood, oak, and also kauri from New Zealand, which ties back to that idea of te hono, or joining.
As we go.
He papatātaki nō whatinuku nō whatirani. Uhi wero tau mai te Māori haumi e. Hui ei, taiki e.
We hope that the connection, the relationship between our two great nations and the people of Leiden and the Māori can increase, and that we can understand each other and learn from each other, and yeah, look at each other's customs and try to become better people of them. If two people come to the front, and then when the water hits the boat, I hereby baptize you. Dat is goed. Die kan opstappen. Across the run. Hereby baptize you, Abel Tasman. We houden vaak.
Now Njos is going to train on the Waka so that they will be up to it next week, Monday, same time, when there is the very official ceremony taking place at this spot.
Okay, sit straight up, guys. Sit straight up. Guys, we moeten die aan dezelfde kant.
Farideh en even.
Straight up and yellow. Danke.
It is very unique because they are not objects, they are not collection items, they are supposed to be used, and that nature, treating them is also very different. So that in itself is definitely a challenge coming from the conservation end of what happens in museums, because traditionally as a conservator you're more focused on preserving something in a specific condition and in a specific state. So yeah, that absolutely was a very different approach.
Just have a very simple ceremony of a gift that we would like to present you with before you go get onto the waka. So, Aotearoa, e kota. Hi.
Our kapahaka, our items, our haka and our waiataringa
They're vehicles for the language, they're vehicles that share messages and information about we as people. In fact, I don't think you can have kaupapa waka without that particular aspect, because it's about the reo. It's about the reo and karakia, it's about the reo and the items that we perform. The haka keep you in the zone, it's all about keeping timing and working together. Working together in unison so that the waka just glides.
Hori Manuirirangi!
Now, what's between there and here?
On the water?
On the sides of the water?
On the houses.
Houses. Well, wouldn't it be just ideal to make sure it's launched there, and when it comes up, everybody will be on the banks watching the damn thing coming up over to here? Yeah.
Hold your country hard. Robbie, kahanati go.
Aotearoa, represented by Madame Farideh and Mr. Garry Nicholas. They have organized the entire Waka project for us. There is special welcome to all of you, and then let's get direct. Dames en heren, en terwijl u naar de Waka kijkt, wil alle die nog niet met name de voornaam zijn genoemd nog even hartelijk welkom heten. Nog een paar mensen in het zonnetje zetten. En niet naar dat meer gezien hoe die Waka Taua eruit komt. To me, the very moment that the Maori crew comes up the steps, as though they have come all the way from Aotearoa in their waka and come up and conquer the Museum Volkenkunde place, that was just, it was breathtaking, it was fantastic.
Waak, God van de wateren. Hoi, tata, Fidikel, Tangaroa. Bescherm de Waka op het land. Takinate Waka Kiuta. Bescherm de Waka op het water. Takinate Waka Kitai. Bevaar de Waka met betekenis. Hoya Kirungai Tetsika. Bevaar de Waka met eer. Hoya Kirungai Tefono. Hou uw hooi vast met kracht. Wij groeten u met eer. Verbind u samen tot één. Homie, hoeie.
The impression. Don't sink it.
Tara ka pipiri ka pona ka poia ke ona tara kia tāne nui ārangi. Hiki te ngā huatanga I pā ki tēnei waka mai tana rerenga mai I te wai I te wākaenga tainoa mai ki tēnei rā. Hiki tia kia pai e tana noho I kone I runga I tēnei penua me wana kai tia ki hou. Turu o piti kia waka maua kia tina. Tina! Tōkuna kia haere.
There were two things I didn't expect for today, and that was my captain's necklace. I got it, and it was really kind of emotional for me. And then I got this cape, and I got it from the two captains of the biggest waka in New Zealand. And they named it after one of their cooks who recently passed away. And when they told me that, I was just full of tears. And I don't know how it happens, because I'm not a guy who really cries fast, but it's just, yeah, it's something really special.
There was a lot of pride with me when I saw the Dutch boys, the students, the New York students paddle the canoe. And I thought, they are going to pick up how you have to really handle a waka well.
What really hit me was when they came back up, and I was halfway to the door of the museum, and oh boy, they looked so perfect. They built, all the paddlers were nice build, and they were just perfect. Their timing was absolutely perfect, and there should have been a camera there, and I don't know whether it was caught by a camera, but boy, oh boy, if there was a camera where I observed them coming up, it would have been beautiful, yeah.
people who came over really are brothers to me now. They're close friends, and I can't wait for them to come over to Holland again when we leave here. So it's a really good connection between the two of us.
Crew, we were just, okay, we try something new, and they all got snapped by the culture and by the spiritual aspect of it. It just really grabbed them, and I think that will grow into something beautiful, really long-lasting relationship. I hope that every year people will be able to travel up here and to experience Waitangi, and to keep the relationship healthy, and we take it back home and teach our crews. And yeah, I think that will work. I think that will grow out to be a really big thing.
Taking a new tack, you know. We're going in a direction where we're open to the world, within reason, of course. And so, you know, we're just really happy and proud. The guys did good today. Coast and the boys, they did really well. Coast is really a great ambassador for Te Hono ki Aotearoa. To come here and be proud of that he is the Hautu captain of that waka, and he comes in representing them, and that's just been great. Awesome.
Locating the waka in Leiden was at stage 1. Stage 2 was that waka would provide a reference point for New Zealand at a distance, where the waka travels throughout Europe as an ambassador for this country and our partnership with the Dutch people.
If you look at the whole aspect of what that waka brings, one, it has to have its leaders on there, and the ones that have been formulated around that particular waka, they're all leaders in their own right. This is the A-team of the All Blacks. They're focused, they don't divert. Ki te tika te tauihi o te waka, karere noi hoa I nei te wai, I nei te kare o nā wai. So not only is the waka a physical thing, it's also metaphysical. This ain't no new thing. It's something that was already there. You know, the sun was shining on us. It was quite warm, actually. No, it was hot. I just said to Hori, look at my arms. And there were all these goosebumps on there, you know, and even though it was hot, he goes, oh, kai te aha koe, Chief. And I went, bro, yeah, I know something's happening right now, so, yeah. Well, I knew what it was. It's just, well, kai te hara mai o tātana tīpuna ki te āwhina I te kaupapa. And, yeah, I said, feel me, bro. He felt me. I was like cold as ice. And I, yeah, no.
The actual paddle down the river was huge, chopping certain sections, big, huge buildings next to us. And it felt really strange until we got to the Tower Bridge. Then we heard this karanga come from the shores, and it cut through all the noise.
Yeah, that karana. Wow.
No, I didn't cry on the waka there. It was all the splashes coming off the Joe's paddle into my face. And my tears were just trying to wipe away the... trying to wipe away the splashes coming onto my face there. But very emotional time. And knowing full well that 100 years ago, there was a waka led by Maggie Papakura that was on the Thames.
In Māori, I would say it by stating kue, te ngākau, or the heart is appeased.
The relationship with the waka is different depending on who you are and what your role is. If you're one of the kaihoi, then it's a really close affinity. That is your ancestor. If you are the builder, it's your child. And when you think of Hector and he pours himself into each of those constructions, I would hope, and I would really hope, that all waka throughout New Zealand had even a fraction of the care that that living waka is getting. I hope that all of Hector's waka, the 28 or however many he's built, will be there in 100 years' time, and that there'll be other builders that will follow him.